Welcome back to the Morning Blend. No matter how rushed you are to get somewhere in your car, it's important to remember pedestrians should come first on the road.
That's right. October is dedicated to teaching the public both on the street and behind the wheel about safety. So joining us more with now on the program Share and Be Aware is Jessica Binder along with Mirtha Sosa. Welcome to the Morning Blend, you guys.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Let's talk a little bit about Wisconsin Walks October. Mirtha, what's that about?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
She's on her phone.
See? She wasn't paying attention.
What's the point of being on your phone?
So the point is that Wisconsin Walks Month is about getting people out in the community, getting people out in the street, walking more, and really more than anything, educating and bringing awareness to everyone on the street, especially drivers, so that people can walk safely. And I was on my phone just trying to prove a point that, you know, trying to listen and pay attention to something while being distracted on the phone is hard.
And the reality is that it's dangerous to be on the phone if you're walking, if you're riding a bike, or if you're driving a car, right?
Right. It is dangerous for all groups, but we definitely encourage drivers the most to put down the phones because when a driver is distracted and texting, they might kill somebody else who's completely innocent. If somebody wants to make a bad decision for themselves, I believe in personal freedom. If you want to walk across the street being texting and make that bad decision for yourself, that's less of a concern for a safety program than someone driving who can really injure someone innocent. And people do die on Wisconsin roads while crossing the street. It is most often the driver's fault in those crashes. And the best thing that people who drive can do is drive the speed limit, not be distracted, and then look for pedestrians and yield to them.
What are some of the laws? You know, when we think about great suggestions, this, you know, ideas that, but what are the real laws here that we're looking at?
The laws are very clear. Unfortunately, our culture has kind of made that less clear, but the law is that pedestrians have the right of way at every crosswalk, marked or unmarked. So that pretty much means every single corner that has a sidewalk coming up to it is a crosswalk, whether there's paint on the pavement or not.
Really?
So drivers need to yield to everyone who's trying to cross the street there.
So yeah, because this is a good example. I always have the question, just up the street, or even in Whitefish Bay, some of those, you know, where there's cobblestone across, or there's just two lines, but it's not a marked crosswalk. So if somebody's trying to cross there, you should stop traffic for them to cross?
Right. A good example might be on Capitol, like in front of the high school.
That's what I'm thinking.
There's some crosswalks there that come before the signal, and those are at an intersection, and those are crosswalks, and so people driving should be yielding to the high school students that are trying to cross.
Right.
Good to know.
It's interesting. Are there other things that come to mind for you that maybe people don't know about in terms of the laws or the rules as it relates to driving and walking?
Yeah, the main one really is that drivers have this very clear responsibility to always yield to pedestrians and crosswalks. The other thing is if a pedestrian is ever doing something totally unpredictable and did just dart into the street or something like that, a driver still has to do everything they can to not hit them. There's never a time where, like, you can hit someone.
Right.
Maybe you can try to avoid it, and maybe, you know, something unfortunate is going to happen that is truly less preventable, but most of our crashes are very preventable, and it's based on drivers not paying attention and not knowing that they need to stop for people in crosswalks. And overall, pedestrians, I think, right now are a little bit too timid, and it's good for pedestrians.
People don't stop.
Because people, it's a bad cycle that we're really trying to stop, and it's hard to know how do you stop this cycle, but we hope that by talking to drivers, reminding them to yield to pedestrians, and then talking to pedestrians to be a little more assertive, maybe wave when you're at the corner, and say, you know, make eye contact with the driver, I'm going to cross here. And then we have this program called Yield for Your Neighbor, and we have signs like this that people can get on our website. And we really encourage citizens who care about this. We hear all the time that people want their kids to walk to school, they want their mother to be able to go to the grocery store and cross the street more safely. And so we're providing these on our website. You can visit shareandbeaware.org. You can print them off yourself or contact us about coming to your community, and then we'll do a live crosswalk demo where we'll go across the street, show the sign to drivers in a friendly way, try to remind pedestrians and drivers that yielding at crosswalks is so important.
Yeah, because a lot of people know in their neighborhood where those confusing spots are. And so that's, like you just said, you'll come out to that spot if requested and do a demo or do some training in your community. Just by request.
Right.
You'll come out and do that.
Right. So if you're a parent and you're really concerned about your kids crossing to school, you can request us. ShareAndBeAware.org is where you find our contact information, and say, you know, at 7:55 my kid's school starts, and there's so many kids crossing, and there's not a crossing guard.
Pick the right time.
And pick the right time. We don't want to go to a school crossing at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's not when the yielding problem is really happening. So we have staff all across the state, as well as in Milwaukee, that are willing to go out and do this.
It's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Nice job, you guys.
And just you can like us on Facebook, visit us at shareandbeaware.org.
Yeah, and you've got these walks coming up where there's Hike for Health, Walk the Mitchell Mile, Family Fall Hike, and you can find out more about all the Wisconsin walks at shareandbeaware.org. That's also where you can request someone to come out to a confusing intersection or someplace that you feel is unsafe in your neighborhood to learn a little bit more, or request those signs as well so that you can have those in place. Thanks so much for being here, ladies.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
us.
both of you. We appreciate it.
And we would love to give you each a sign.
I know, I'm going to put it on
Thank
Capitol
you.
in that one spot.
Yeah.
You
These
can
are
go in your
cool.
yard. You can
Thank
educate
you.
people around you.
I like
Thanks, ladies.
these. Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.